Hi guys, it's me, Tiffany. I want to give you a quick update on my garden progress. My garden is progressing nicely. It's about 80% finished so far as just setting up the garden. Of course, I've still got more plants to plant. I finally got my blueberries in the ground. If you're interested in the pawpaws that I showed a few videos ago, here they are. You can see that the two name brands have leafed out quite nicely, and this is the one that I pulled from my parents' yard. She has not really leafed out any more than she had when I pulled her up, but you can see that she's still in good condition. This is fine. I think I pulled this up at the exact right time. Had these leaves been any bigger, this plant would have suffered a little bit due to transpiration trying to support these leaves. But since it had just began to leaf out, it has stalled its leaf growth, and what I'm sure this plant is doing right now is concentrating on putting out some roots because it didn't have very many. This is the Shenandoah. She looks quite beautiful. She's put on about 4 inches growth since I got her. You can see I have some bug that seems to like to eat this. Got a little damage up here as well. And this is Susquehanna, and she's put on about 4 inches as well. And again, some more leaf damage. I want to take a minute to talk about my supposed super dwarf Cavendish banana. She's doing great. What I have noticed is when I first got her, these leaves were growing so compactly. You see how one leaf's growing on top of another on top of another? Well, I put her outside, gave her a little fertilizer, and last week it rained every day last week. And I want you to look at how much this neck has stretched from right here to right here. So if she continues growing like that, I'm not going to say she's not going to be dwarf, but what I am saying is that I'm not so sure this is a super dwarf Cavendish anymore, because that neck is stretching. Another thing I want to talk about is all her pups. So I've already taken 7 pups off this plant to encourage this plant to put its energy in growing the mother plant and producing me some fruit. And it seems like for every 1 pup I take off, it grows back more. So you can see, well, not very well, but over here there are pups, and I've given some to my sister. There's one back there. And now look here, and these are all relatively new. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. So she's got 5 more pups. I had her down to 1 pup, and then she grew back 2 more. So I took off 1, thinking if I left her 2 pups, maybe she would be satisfied. But no, she keeps growing pups. So I don't know. I think I'm going to leave her alone. But regardless, she's beautiful. Nothing to complain about there. The white pot is one of the pups that I took off of the plant when I first got it. You can see that it's beautiful, and then it's throwing its own pups. This is a quick look at most of my citrus plants. I shared with you that they were going through a blossom or a bloom. This plant in the brown pot is the plant that I've been complaining about that it won't grow. It puts on 1,000,001 fruit, but when it comes to like growing limbs, it doesn't grow that great, and I'm really concerned about its ability to support the fruit. Now, yes, I have thinned some of this fruit, and you can see down below where there's little balls where I've been thinning the fruit. But I'm not gonna thin too much, because here's what happened last year. When I thinned a lot of its fruit, it just flowered again. And so not only did it waste its energy on one bloom, it wasted its energy on two blooms. So if you're wondering why I'm not thinning it more, that's why, because I've experienced with this tree, it's just going to flower again. Now this tree in the gray pot is my Owari Satsuma. It's one of those that really had way too much fruit. So I have thinned. It could stand thinning some more, but I don't want to overdo, because in my experience, again, if I overdo, all the tree does is just bloom out again. So you can see it's got some nice fruit. And look down here. You see all that? That's me thinning. And if you look on the ground, you can see there are little balls too down there. That's where I've been thinning the fruit. And this big tree is another tree that I had to really thin. And now that I'm looking at it, I don't think I did such a great job. I'm going to have to go back and thin again. Believe it or not, yes, I did thin the fruit, but you can tell it's still growing, or it's still carrying quite a lot of fruit. So I'm going to have to go back and thin some more. Another thing is that she is currently starting to push new growth again, which is good. You can see all this new growth. I accidentally had an accident with my garage door in this tree. So a cold snap came, and I put my citrus trees in the garage, and I thought I had this far enough back to where it would clear the door, but it didn't. And there was a limb right here. The door caught that limb and broke it off. And then like down here, the door caught some limbs and broke them off. So, oh well. This tree here is my calamondin. It is an absolutely beautiful tree. The mother tree from this one was just as beautiful. I grew this one from an air layer, and she bloomed, and she's loaded with fruit as well. I did not thin these. The reason being is because she went to flowering again, and I feel like, let's look over here. I feel like if I thin, she's just gonna keep flowering, so I'm just gonna leave her alone. But regardless, she's beautiful. And I think with calamondins, they're such a small citrus fruit that even though she has a lot, I think this tree has the capacity to carry those fruits. So that's it, guys. I'll keep you updated on my garden and all my other projects. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.